Worried Hen by Steve Smallman. I've chosen the story today especially for Brody. Do you know that Brody has his own chickens now? And every morning Brody goes into the chicken run to go and collect eggs for his breakfast. I wonder who else of you have got chickens on your farms and you eat the eggs. How does a hen tell the time? That's a little riddle, and it says the answer's on the back page. So I'm going to cheat and I'm going to go right to the end of the book, and it says it looks at the cluck, cluck, cluck. So when I look at the clock, I tell the time. When a hen wants to know what the time is, he looks at the cluck, cluck, cluck. It's just a little joke. Worried Hen. It was an icy cold day, and Farmer Fred had just finished milking the cows. "Shivering onions, it's freezing," he said to Patch, his sheepdog, as he toasted his toes in front of the fire. Suddenly the door swung open and Farmer Fred's wife Jenny burst in. "Hetty Hen has hatched 12 beautiful chicks," panted Jenny. "Now there's just one egg left to hatch." "Woof, woof," barked Patch. As Farmer Fred pulled on his wellies, Patch ran over to the hen house to check on Hetty's hen's progress. There were 12 fluffy new chicks huddling together. There they all are. Hetty was still keeping the 13th egg warm. "What's happening?" Patch asked the other animals who had gathered around to watch. "Shh," whispered Connie the cow. "Hetty's concentrating." Hetty waited and waited, and the other animals waited and waited, but nothing happened. "It's just too cold in the hen house," clucked Hetty Hen. "This egg is never going to hatch." "Here, cover the egg in some of my feathers," said Dotty Duck. "They will keep him lovely and warm." "Have some of my wool," said Shirley Sheep. "I think you'll find it very cosy indeed." "And take some of my hay," said Connie Cow. "It will warm that egg up in no time." What kind friends to share. Hetty Hen covered the 13th egg with feathers, wool and hay, and then she sat on top. She was getting comfortable when Farmer Fred arrived singing a song. "Happy Hatch Day, dear Hetty, happy Hatch Day to you." When he had finished, Farmer Fred sat down beside Hetty and waited. Farmer Fred waited and waited. Hetty waited and waited, and all the other animals waited and waited, but nothing happened. This chick made a wig with some of the sheep's wool. "It's just too cold in this hen house," said Farmer Fred, "but never fear, I have an idea," he cried. Then he disappeared into his workshop. Before long, lots of banging and crashing could be heard. The animals all looked at each other and shook their heads. What was Farmer Fred making this time? A few minutes later, the door to the workshop swung open, and out stepped Farmer Fred. He was carrying a see-through box in his arms. "This," he declared grandly, "is a superheated egg hatcher. All we need to do is pop the egg inside and it will hatch before you can say extraordinary." The animals gathered outside the hen house. "We've got to help." I think I skipped a page. Sorry, everybody. "In you go," said Farmer Fred. He popped the egg into the superheated egg hatcher. Then everybody sat back and waited. Farmer Fred waited and waited. Hetty waited and waited. All the animals waited and waited, but nothing happened. Look how sad she's looking. Her egg's not with her. Nothing happened, that is, until there was a pop and a fizz, and the light bulb flickered out. "Never fear," said Farmer Fred. "It just needs a new light bulb." And off he went to the farmhouse. The animals gathered outside the hen house. "We've got to help poor Hetty," said Dotty Duck. "Surely someone must have an idea." She looked at each animal in turn, but they just shook their heads. "Woof, woof, woof," barked Patch, wagging his tail. He just remembered where the warmest place on the farm was. "Woof, woof. Do you know?" Yes, next to the fire. Farmer Fred was sitting beside the fire, sorting through a botch, when Patch burst through the door. "Hello, Patch," smiled Farmer Fred as he popped a light bulb into his cap. This is no time for lazing around the warm fire. We've got an egg to hatch. Woof, woof, barked Patch as he quickly picked up the cap and placed it gently beside the fire. Farmer Fred looked at the bulb inside his cap beside the fire. That's it. I've got a brilliant idea, he cried, grabbing his hat and rushing out to the farmhouse. Do you think it was the farmer's idea, or was it the dog's idea? Farmer Fred dashed outside and came back with the unhatched egg in his cap. Hetty Hen and her 12 little chicks followed him into the warm kitchen. See, the horse and the cow couldn't fit. There, said Farmer Fred, laying the cap and the egg beside the fire. Everybody sat back and waited. Farmer Fred waited and waited. Hetty waited and waited. And the other animals waited and waited. Oh, dearie me, clucked Hetty Hen. That egg is never going to hatch. But just then, crack, the egg began to hatch, and out popped the 13th chick. Chip, 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 chirped the chick, hopping onto Farmer Fred's lap. It looks like she's decided you're her mum, Fred, laughed Jenny as she walked through the door. I always knew this was the warmest place on the farm for hatching eggs, smiled Farmer Fred. Woof, woof, barked Patch. I think it was Patch's idea. Do you agree with me?